So, CEO Rikutazumi says Nijisanji yen revenue situation is a little tough. Who could have guessed? However, we are seeing an improvement in the KPIs on YouTube at the moment. So we will work to increase our customer base through music development and YouTube project development to recover revenue. So they're saying that their YouTube views are up. I don't know if they're counting in the months where people were accusing them of like view botting. I know there was some botting allegations going around. I'm not sure if it's planned to that. I'm not sure if it's proven even, but there was some numbers that were a little sus. The sales and profits did increase and are expected to increase next fiscal year as well. So overall, Nijisanji is doing decent on that front. Nijisanji, AnyColor, and Hololive cover are two major agencies in the VTuber world, but the difference that is often mentioned is that Nijisanji is a mixed bag, while Hololive is a small but elite group. But check the next part. AnyColor has 170 affiliated VTubers as the end of April 2025, while Cover has 89 affiliate VTubers as of the end of March 2025. While Nijisanji has a high number of debut and graduations from Hololive are extremely rare, but recently there has been a noticeable rush of Hololive graduations. Even their competitors are noting this, which is kind of crazy. Looking at the fan base, Hololive, which only has female performers, has a lot of male fans, while Nijisanji, which has both male and female performers, is characterized by having a lot of female fans, especially those in their 20s. Lots of Fujo girls. Looking at sales by business area, commerce, merchandise sales, etc. is overwhelmingly dominant. Live streaming, YouTube ads, super chat memberships, etc., which was mainstream in the early days of the VTuber boom, has plateaued. Oh, they're actually saying that it's plateaued, like it's not gonna grow anymore. That's interesting. Is that why all the agencies are shifting away from live streaming? But at the same time, it's through live streaming that you get the initial connection with the fans. This may be different from the image you might imagine when you hear the word VTuber. I mean, that would explain why also Hololive is shifting away from this. We have a cash deposit of approximately 16 billion yen, and in our medium-term management plan, we have set a goal of cumulative operating cash flow of approximately 40 billion yen by the end of April 2027 fiscal year. The company plans to allocate 56 billion yen, a combination of cash and cash equivalents, and cumulative operating cash flow to investments in studios. Oh, they're going to build studios. We've been asking them for that. The development of a media mix, such as anime and games as spin-off businesses of Nijisanji. Okay, that's interesting. And the development of other services, 3 to 5 billion yen, cash and cash equivalent on hand, and M&A investment framework of approximately 20 billion yen, and shareholder return centered on share buyback of over 30 billion yen. Just they've appointed some directors here, and they're not flexing about VShojo imploding. They're just like noting, some industry events, because that does probably play into the stock market. Like everything is tied together when you're in the same industry. This is an article written by somebody who's always reports on the shareholder meetings. So the guy who's writing the article, Mishuzu, says, I tweeted about the general shareholder meeting on my Twitter account. Incidentally, AnyColor's IR material includes a watermark that reads confidential. So basically, their things here, they're apparently confidential, but for the purpose of news, they say that it's okay. But they've noted them confidential, and this guy notes that it's not typically found in material like this for companies, but he says it's likely a formality to prevent the misuse of live streamer images, and they are quoting them with the understanding that it's okay for news purposes. So he says doing stuff like we're doing might be fine, but AnyColor might have added that so they're not being misquoted or misused by some live streamers. So the first question is, Takato Suzuki has not been appointed as a director. What is the reason? Tagami responds, Director Suzuki's terms of office will expire at the end of this fiscal year, and we have decided to respect his wishes and step down. During his tenure, he has made a significant contribution to the development of the domestic VTuber business, drawing on his extensive knowledge and experience in the entertainment industry. We would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude. Second question. I would like to hear your intentions regarding the establishment of new shareholder benefits. In addition to the continuous improvement of corporate value, our company considers returning profits for shareholders to be one of its most important management priorities. They do that a lot. I don't know if it's a sound business practice. It's somehow kept them afloat, though. Our basic policy is to continuously return profits to shareholders in accordance with our business performance, while securing the internal funds necessary for stable corporate growth in the future and for responding to changes in the business environment. Specifically, the profits generated from the business will be utilized while taking into consideration the balance between business growth through business expense and capital investment, returns to shareholders, and internal reserves for future investments. We will continue to work hard with the aim of improving business performance and securing profits in mind, and we appreciate your understanding that we are not currently offering shareholder benefits. Are you considering acquiring new customers other than the existing customers, mainly in the commerce field? So for merch and so on. What is your current understanding of the situation and future measures? I will refrain from answering questions about the specific measures that will be taken in the future. He doesn't want to reveal all the industry secrets or their plan. But we would like to further increase awareness of our content, especially in overseas region. Oh, really? I'm surprised. We're expanding our merchandise sales not only through existing sales channels, but also through news channels. We're also actively considering opening large-scale pop-up stores in the future, so please look forward to it. I do like pop-up stores. I wonder, maybe we'll finally be able to get the Nijisanji collab merch in America when it's from Livers. Oh, it could also mean China. You're right, Dennis. Yeah, it could also mean China. Regarding the improvement of the support system for existing VTubers, the disparity in treatment between VTubers in event measures, and the balance of VTuber promotion. All right, we're tackling this. Are we going to talk about the favoritism? We believe that our mission to create content that allows each VTuber to thrive and to build a comprehensive support system. We provide equal opportunities for each VTuber, so we would like to continue to build comprehensive support for each VTuber, both existing and new. In addition, our backup system for debuts has expanded along with our company's growth. We will continue to expand our backup system for debuts and also want to expand our backup system for existing VTubers. What do they mean by backup system? Do they mean the support system? Yeah, huge X on that response. I'm gonna say X on that. Oh, pre-question. What is the progress on measures against slander and libel? I will refrain from commenting on the progress of specific cases here. That's natural. But our company is examining malicious slander and libel from various angles and taking actions. In order to continue to protect our affiliated live streamers, we will continue to take effective measures against malicious slander, etc. Another pre-question. What kind of measures are being taken to manage the health of VTubers? And do you have plans to expand these in the future? I think this has been brought up because Vshoujo was also saying that they had some therapies set up for their VTubers, but then people pointed out that most companies did that. Each live streamer has a manager assigned to them who communicates closely with them on a daily basis to ensure that they receive adequate care in terms of both physical and psychological well-being. If a live streamer wishes, we have also established a system where they can receive counseling from our company's industrial physician without going through our company. There's a joke at the tip of my tongue, but is the therapist Aster? The company provided therapist. We will continue to work hard to create a system that allows us to properly manage the health of our live streamers. I mean, it's a mistranslation. It might not be actual physician, but if commerce sales have grown this much and will continue to be important in the future, have you considered having your own manufacturing facilities and logistic warehouse for goods? Dude, I've wondered that about VTuber companies. Why do none of them own their own manufacturer facilities? And I was wondering if maybe it's just not worth the money or is too much logistic for them. So I'm actually curious what he's going to respond. This would make it easier to respond, flexibility and control quality, and it would be a differentiating factor for your company and a reason for your affiliated VTubers to continue working with you. What are your thoughts on this? I can't say anything specific, but when it comes to shipping and manufacturing management, we need to strengthen our sales channel, planning, and shipping to ensure customer satisfaction. I will take your valuable opinion into consideration in the future. Okay, well, he didn't say much, but they're thinking about it. Regarding the decision to make a private content involving an outside musician who allegedly filmed someone associated with our company, the purpose of this was to prevent the victim from being scrutinized through credits, but I feel that it's inappropriate to leave X post and Nico Nico video, which mentions his name as is. I would like you to take action. He says, it's difficult to answer here about the specific countermeasures for the incident that occurred. When such scandals or outrage occur, we take firm measures based on appropriate company regulations and, if necessary, make a public announcement. We're dealing with this matter in the same way, so please rest assured. Recently, when I see people creating avatars using generative AI and adding voices to them, to the untrained eye, they look similar to VTubers. Do you see this kind of technology as a competitor? Are you considering having AI load your avatars after retirement or having AI inside them from the start? At first glance, content that combines generative AI and characters may seem similar to VTubers, but I think the appeal of VTubers lies not just in their character, but also in their humanity and talent, which is what attracts people to the fact that they are actually working as entertainers. And I think the fundamental appeal is different from VTubers. You know what? I agree with that guy. I think that's a good answer. On the other hand, content using generative AI is gradually becoming more common, but I think it is a different context to VTubers. Although there are various legal and reputational risks, I think it's something that should be considered, such as whether it can be used within the company. Regarding the bias in the fan club setup by our live streamers, the ones set up are biased toward female live streamers. Since most of our fans are female, and many of them are fans of male live streamers, wouldn't it be better to have more balanced fan clubs? Why is it biased toward female live streamers? It's difficult to say why the fan club is biased toward female live streamers. This applies not only to fan clubs, but to all projects. Sometimes we come up with the plans ourselves, and sometimes they come up to us from the live streamers, but once we have a plan, we communicate appropriately with all the people involved and then decide on it. In that sense, the bias is an issue, but rather than something that is done intentionally. I think it has naturally settled into that state. Okay, so it's just, if you ask them to get a fan club, they'll probably give you one, but the male livers somehow haven't done that yet. Next question. The Financial Services Agency has requested that securities reports be submitted before the general shareholders meeting, and many prime listed companies on the Tokyo Stock Exchange submit their report by the day before the general shareholders meeting. I would like our company to comply with the request from the next fiscal year. This is valuable opinion, and we will use it as a reference in the future. Yes, Nijisanji, please comply with the regulations. I would like you to disclose the sales figure from Nijisanji's EN first live concert at Niji Fest 2025. Shit! The figures are listed as 0 in the financial results briefing materials, which could encourage the spread of malicious rumors. Also, isn't there a structural problem where the more overseas live streamers focus on events, the less frequently they stream? Because they gotta travel to Japan, so they can't stream that often. You guys had noticed that? We haven't disclosed any specific data, but what you said is correct, so we will use your valuable opinion as reference for the future. As you say, if a talent living overseas appears at an event, they have to travel to Japan, which makes it harder for them to get streaming opportunities. Rather than reducing the number of events, I think it's important to find a way to secure opportunities to appear at events without reducing streaming opportunities. Regarding slander against overseas talents, we will respond with the advice of our in-house slander countermeasure team, as well as overseas lawyers and advisors. So this is where it was listed as 0. But he didn't answer the question. So are they going to reveal the figures? There was a point where most of Niji was MIA, most of Niji EN. Oh, because they were all working on the concert. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, he just says, yeah, we need to do both, which doesn't mean much. There was an AR technology event where Hayato Kagami appeared. Oh, cool. Okay, so Nijisanji had an MR technology demonstration experiment. Is it like 3D? Nah. This guy looks more 3D. Oh yeah, this is because AR/MR content which displays image and 3D models by overlaying them on real world space. The sense of immersion is greatly influenced by whether or not the depth between real and virtual object is expressed. Yeah, they have this technology that makes the some avatars look 3D. At the cost of having your guest and visitor wear this stupid headset though. This looks so silly. Yeah, I think we need to work on the Googles a little bit more, guys. It's just VR. but it looks like it's made out of like paper. Yeah, I'm not wearing that. Anyway, they ask, will there be events that combine the real and virtual world using AR equipment? Regarding the new technology demonstration event we held at the beginning of the year, participants wore our head-mounted displays and watched performance at live events and live venues. The satisfaction level was high, but the equipment was heavy, and although it was an appealing experience, I think there were some issues. It's difficult to say whether we will be holding events using AR like this in the future, but we would like to continue providing content that satisfies our customers using new technology regardless of the format. I mean, it's cool that they're experiencing with new technology. I think they experienced with that and they were like, yeah, it might not be totally ready yet or not worth it yet. So we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, it's kind of cool tech, yeah. Social conditions are changing rapidly, both in Japan and around the world. I would like to hear your predictions about what society will be like in 5 or 10 years and what your ideal company should be like. While we're here, I'd also like to hear from other directors besides Mr. Tagami. VTubers have two characteristics, character and talent. The fact that they have both of these qualities at the same time is what makes them unique in the entertainment industry and what makes them so appealing. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or even in a longer span, I would like to see VTubers evolve from being just entertainment content and a trend to something that will lead the entertainment industry and become part of Japanese culture that we can be proud of. Dude, I have no doubt that VTubers will become an integral part of Japanese culture. I feel like these 3D shit, that's gonna be on billboards and stuff. It's gonna be everywhere. I think like every restaurant, every company will have some kind of VTuber, some kind of VTuber mascot or something. We're gonna have like VTuber companions. Are there any rules regarding the announcement of live streamers' graduation? The content is basically announced within the confidential membership. Oh yeah, that's a good question because we actually don't know what's the protocol for that. And with Twisty and Aster, it was 2 different ways. So yeah, they hint at it in their memberships, they hint at it on social media, and then you officially announce it. Although it is from another company, the stock price moved when cover artist Minato Aqua announced her graduation, so wouldn't problem arise if you do it that way? He answers, when it comes to live streamers' graduation, we basically have the person in charge at our company, and the live streamer discuss it thoroughly before announcing it in a way that is satisfactory to them. It's important to be careful that such announcements do not affect the stock price. That's it. That's it. He's not gonna answer the question more? Bro, he asked you like 2 questions. He only answered the second one. He didn't even answer the first part of the question, which was most of it. It's kind of frustrating because I wanted to know that. I feel like there are a few cases where you work on multiple projects for the same company. While there are success stories like Shima Spain Village, I was actually involved in a project where the results were not what I expected, and I had a hard time getting the next project approved. Okay, so this is a nice way of saying that the project didn't do well. Do you reapproach companies that didn't produce the results you wanted? This is mostly for sponsorships, I believe. We currently have quite a few repeat business opportunities with companies. However, there are also some that we don't receive repeat business from. In such cases, we'll take additional steps such as suggesting, can we do this? Or suggesting changes to the content of the plan, and we will use the lesson learned to improve in the future. So they'll pitch stuff if the company doesn't renew with them, or the client. On April 24th, the Tokyo Stock Exchange requested that the investment unit be set around 100,000 yen. Currently, Any Colors unit share price is around 450,000 yen. I would like to hear the company's views on lowering the unit share price. I'm aware of what you have said. I cannot give you any response at this time, but I will use your valuable opinion as a reference for the future. While VTubers have passionate fans, they also have the image of being somewhat of a niche idol. How about appearing on music and variety shows on terrestrial TV to become a major presence like AKB48 or Hatsune Miku? What measures can you take to further increase your visibility? We're doing a lot of different things within the scope of what you've disclosed. We've had exposure on terrestrial TV, but in the area of merchandise. We've opened a stuffed toy store in Yokohama, which has helped people actively watch X and YouTube. We want to carry out various promotion initiatives so that VTubers and Nijisanji become a familiar presence so that they are there when you walk down the street or turn on the TV. Yeah, I don't think he has a good idea when it comes to, just having more VTubers on TV. At least it could work in Japan. I feel like people here might not be ready for that. So are they allowed to like basically not answer the questions at all? Even this other guy who asked for other directors to answer the question, they didn't even let anybody else answer. It's just been the same guy answering every single question. Regarding your investment plan, looking at your financial statement, you have very little borrowing and are essentially debt-free. In times of deflation, cash is strong, but with the recent inflation, this is said to be medium to long-term trend. Is this a conservative plan to invest only with profits, or will you also utilize loans? We don't have any specific policies, but we believe we're able to make necessary investment using our operating cash flow and also provide returns to shareholders. I don't think that the business model currently requires a large investment of 10 to 20 billion yen. However, I think that there may be cases where we consider financing when expanding into new business areas through M&A. Nijisanji yen sales have fallen in every area in the financial results for the fiscal year ending April 2025. Yeah, boy, do we know this. I think it can't be helped as some part of big events are recorded overall, but in some areas, sales have fallen to half of what they were in 2023. Overseas expansion has also been cited as an issue, but current performance is also not good. What are your future plans? Okay, please answer this fully. We recognize that Nijisanji's yen's revenue situation is a bit tough. Over the past year or two, they have been working to build a relationship of trust with their talents and fans. As a result, in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year ending in April 2025, their YouTube KPIs have also shown a gradual improvement. Their motivation has increased with Minecraft themed streams. It is the Minecraft themed, yes! So they're citing, wasn't it Sonny's Minecraft stream that was like botted? Yeah, people were claiming that that stream was botted because the graph was like, it shot up and then it stayed the exact same throughout the stream. And usually like the views will dip towards the end of a stream. But I mean, there's no way to prove whether, you know, somebody else did it for them. Oh, it was Wilson. Sorry. I always confuse it too. It was the two blonde guys. It was Wilson. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they think because the live streams are getting more viewers, the talents are more motivated, there's new talents debuted, you know, the new Boys Wave that's doing pretty good, they have good numbers, and appearances at Niji Fest leading to an improvement in their streaming activities. Although we have not yet achieved a recovery in revenue, we would like to take advantage of the current recovery and work to increase our customer base through music development and YouTube projects, thereby recovering revenue. Are they gonna address the Twisty Aster thing, or is that like in the next quarter? I feel like the growth business this fiscal year are biased towards the commerce goods area. I think the appeal of the content is what makes the goods so appealing. Yes! This guy has like the same mentality we have. It's the live streaming is what makes the goods appealing. So what are your thoughts on future business development in each area? As you pointed out, the proportion of revenue from commerce is increasing, and I believe this proportion will continue to rise in the future. At the same time, we also need to steadily grow other areas. For example, in the case of live streaming, we'll increase the amount of content that is more likely to reach our customers, such as short videos, music activities, TV programs, and activities as a unit, so with groups. If this number increases significantly, we believe that other commerce promotions and events will also grow in line with the popularity of VTubers. Okay, so they're still working on increasing that, and they do have a few ideas. So that looks good on that front. Oi, you! Yeah, you! Hi! If you're not subscribed to my second channel, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So take a moment, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell on. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now let's get back into the video. Regarding events, there was news in February about troubles with ticket sales. I'd like to know if you're building your own sales channels or what measures you take when problems arise. I will refrain from commenting on individual issues here, but it's important to have a variety of development routes without relying on a single business. It's important to take measures to prevent such incident from occurring. We are currently reviewing our flow and system. Group content, it really is a big plus of these huge groups. Oh yeah, and their groups really work well. It's kind of like their bread and butter. on the JP side mostly. I think EN a little less, but on the JP side, it's big. It's encouraging to see that a new studio opened last year and is operating smoothly. On the other hand, over 100 new employees were hired in the previous term, and as the organizational structure expands, do you find it difficult for opinions and ideas from the field to reach higher position, or does it take time to make decisions? Flexibility is important, so are there any measures you take to address these? And that's a good question, because Nijisanji has been criticized for their flexibility in the past, like they're too big and take too long to make decisions. And then the communications for that decision to get through also takes a while. So he says, yes, it is an issue, both between department and within departments. When there are many new employees, communication does not immediately proceed smoothly. To promote communication within the department, we also provide support for things like drinking parties. By doing such things, we are able to achieve close cooperation and make efforts to ensure that policies and work proceed smoothly as an organization. What do they call that again? There's a word for that, for, going out drinking with your boss in Japan. You know, they all go to an izakaya or something. That's very Japanese of them. That's very Japanese. So mix alcohol with an energy drink. Oh, I think they learned from that. It's a nomikai. It's like almost mandatory too. I would fucking hate that, by the way. It's like you just slaved, you're 8 to 5 or whatever. You just want to go home and relax and play some video games, and your boss is like, yo, let's go out drinking. Oh, fuck, okay. You have to go out drinking. You don't stop by home to change. You just go in there with your suit. You spend like all day in it. In Japan, they're all wearing suits, almost the same suit too. And they drink so much. They drink so fast. We saw a bunch of like drunk businessmen going out from their little like drinking gathering. They looked like they were having fun. I remember specifically one instance when there was like this bald guy and they were like rubbing his head, as if it was like gonna give them some luck. And I think like one of them was trying to hand him a business card, but he put it on the floor and he stepped on it, and then the other guy was like prostrating in front of him to get the business card. It was like, I don't know, he was probably like a new employee and they were like kind of making fun of him or like bantering with him. Poor dude. But they seem to be having fun. I think it was like good natured. You have 4 main business activities and they are like the 4 wheels of a car. None of them can be missing. It's especially important to create buzz through live streaming, which will then have a ripple effect on other business. The key is to increase the buzz. But are there any measures or KPIs to increase it? The company has a system in place that allows it to provide advice to live streamers. While I will refrain from giving specific details, I would like to advise that the basic policy is to balance short videos, live broadcast, and regular videos to have a variety of goals and to develop a balanced approach to both new and existing customers. Okay, well, we kind of already knew this answer. Nothing too exciting there. When it comes to anniversary goods for popular live streamers, they sell at 5 minutes after the regular sales start and are then restocked the next day. Have you ever considered making them available for pre-order from the start? Yeah, why are they restocking them the next day? That's odd. Why not just start with a bigger amount to sell in the first place? Made-to-order sales have both good and bad points. It inevitably takes a long time for the product to reach the customers. Dude, it does! It does. Like, made-to-order is like 6 months minimum. While we continue to purchase the usual number of items for sale, there are some items that are oversold and have to be sold on a made-to-order basis. It's a little hard to imagine selling only on a made-to-order basis from the start, but I think that this might be fine for some products. Yeah, it's probably to create scarcity, like, hey, we sold out. Or I think what they do is that they'll have a set amount of numbers of merch. Let's say they'll produce 200 plushies, and then once they sold out, everything else is like on pre-order, like all the extra ones. And these ones you'll get later in the mail. We are seeing many live streamers having their contracts terminated or graduating due to inappropriate comments or scandals. What measures are being taken? It's important to have a system in place to prevent inappropriate remarks and scandals from occurring in the first place. We ensure that both talents and employee understand what is acceptable and what is unacceptable through compliance training, including on harassment. Aster. If inappropriate behavior is found, we will assemble an appropriate team in accordance with company regulations and consider countermeasures. After a scandal or outrage occurs, it is important to reflect on the situation in order to raise awareness of the issue and compliance within the company. I think it's important to review the company's awareness, including reviewing training material and considering whether the problem could have been detected earlier. Yeah, it is important to figure out if the problem could have been detected earlier, but I don't feel like they've raised awareness on the issue at all. I feel like they've brushed the issue under the rug. I feel like they did the opposite of that. When overseas commerce becomes a driver of medium, a long-term growth, how will the US tariff measure affect it? Oh, is there tariff between Japan and the US? Also, what do you think about the possibility of overseas restrictions on Japanese anime-style avatars, such as they look unpleasant, so they should be regulated? Oh, it's 25%? Okay. I think the tariff measures will have almost no impact at this point. Even from a slightly longer-term perspective, I think it's important to respond in a way that does not have such an impact. Regarding restrictions on expression, if such an incident occurs, we'll work with our in-house legal team to carefully consider the matter and respond accordingly, depending on the content. I guess it is a little bit scary for all the censorship stuff that's popping. I haven't really looked into it. I know a lot of people are talking about it on the TL, but I've been like more tunneled on VTuber news, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too aware of what's going on that front. Something about the UK getting cucked by Visa and MasterCard. That sucks. Listen, as long as they don't take away my yaoi, I'm good. We still live in the land of the free, guys. Regarding Nijisanji's EN support system, in April of this year, Ike Evelyn suddenly announced his graduation. I recall he had mental health issues and publicly stated that he was living in Sweden. What will you do to improve the quality of live streamer support? Wait, they're going to take it? Wait, they're going to take my yaoi? Wait, what do you mean? They're coming for that? What? But I thought it was in the UK! They even went after the furries first? Well, maybe they are doing something right after all. Oh, UK's a different thing? Time to go back to the times of the dark web. I'm gonna have to surf the dark web for my Yao now. Time to pay for Yao with Bitcoin. Yeah, before like you'd go, you know, on the dark web, you know, to source out some contraband, some, you know, some drugs, a spare liver or something, you know, organs, freaky stuff. But now it's just gonna be the regular stuff. It's gonna be hentai, Yao, all the stuff they're trying to censor, furries. So back to Ike Evelyn. The guy is saying that Ike Evelyn, you know, suddenly announced his graduation. If you guys remember, it was like next day almost. And says, I recall he had mental health issues and publicly stated that he was living in Sweden. What will you do to improve the quality of live streamer support? And then he says, in terms of communication with talent, the manager in charge is able to detect any psychological or physical issues through daily communication. If there is any unwellness, they will ask the talent to take a temporary break or slow down their activities. In addition to managers, we have also established a system whereby live streamers can directly communicate with our company's industrial physician and receive counseling if requested. We recognize that the psychological and physical health of live streamers is extremely important for them to continue their activities, so we would like to create a good system. Are you aware of Sanrio, Japan's leading IP company? Our IP is highly dependent on individuals and we don't have a collaboration plan like Sanrio. We would also like you to consider holding information session for individual investors. Also, we heard that the schedule for the new studio is filling up quickly, so we would like you to add more studios. Okay, this investor is just straight up manning shit. It's not even questions. Sanrio and I are both in the entertainment industry, but VTubers are in a slightly different field in that they have character and talent. It's crazy because almost every single anime IP has made a pop-up cafe or collab with Sanrio. Like, Sanrio is so big. Okay, as we announced the other day, we have a collaborative relationship with Sanrio. We would like to continue working together wherever possible. We are not particularly conscious of Sanrio, but we hope that the brand group Nijisanji can become a more recognized entity like Sanrio. Thank you for your other opinions. I'll take them in consideration. Yeah, Sanrio is OG. I don't know much about VTubers, but I bought some stocks because my part-time worker was interested in them. I often hear about VTubers graduating, but is there a chance they'll go independent or move to Hololive? Looking ahead, I'm curious about what it would be like if the only goal was to graduate. Like, get into the company, get famous, and then leave. Compared to real-life talents, the difference is that they have both characters and talent at the same time. With a real-life talent, they just need to move themselves. But with a VTuber, they need a studio to move them and a system to move illustrations like Live 2D. Apart from that, I think it's difficult to work independently in the area of planning and promoting character goods. That's why we receive so many applications, and I think that's directly connected to the appeal of VTubers. Basically, he's saying they need them because, well, we have their IP, we have their models, but also we have a studio. That studio they just had recently, they didn't have that before, but now they have that, I suppose. And then they have all of the, a promo side and the merch and all of that. You mentioned VTA in your debut strategy, but in August 2023, VTA saw a significant drop in the number of students due to a violation rule. Oh, when they all walked out? It's a virtual talent academy. Yeah, some members of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th VTA class have violated our company's rules, and a lot of them were laid off. It's difficult to comment specifically, but VTA offers lessons, lectures, and training with the aim of expanding the VTuber industry and producing talent that can be active in the medium to long term. We are conducting compliance training to prevent scandals and inappropriate remarks so that the members who will be debuting in the future can continue to be active for a long time. I believe that by having the members who have debuted also undergo through compliance training and take the measures I mentioned earlier, they will become people who can continue to be active for a long time. Okay, but are we going to see VTubers debut from this academy? Because we still haven't seen one. A single one. They should say it if they should totally say it if a JP VTuber debuts and be like, yo, this is one of the person that went through our training program, because it would promote it. We heard so much nothing about VTA that I was starting to think it was closed or defunct. I'm surprised it's still running. Thank you for answering all of my questions sincerely today. However, I'm concerned that only the president is answering. Ooh, this guy's mad that only the president is answering. I'm here to get a feel for the atmosphere within the company, so I'd like to hear from directors and auditors, other than the president, even if it's just a few about the company's vision for the next 5 years or anything else. Called out, man. After Mr. Tagami briefly consulted with the secretariat, Mr. Aritomi Takeyuki and Mr. Mikawa Shunzaku responded. I'm a lawyer, and I wasn't originally familiar with the VTuber industry. However, after participating in board meetings and other events, I found it to be a fascinating industry that will continue to grow in the future. I believe that it is not easy to achieve both talent and characters. I like to provide support that will help support this culture. Maekawa. As an audit and supervisory committee member, I monitor the business execution of directors, and for example, there is the issue of sustainability. Our company's business itself is not directly related to global warming, but it does have a major impact on local communities and the global environment more broadly. Does it? How? Maybe with the merch production? Furthermore, as an audit and supervisory committee member, I'm also looking at how the company responds to infringements of rights in the online community and defamation of live streamers. I was told that a defamation team has been created, and I attend management meeting and compliance committee meetings to confirm how the team is being carried out. As an audit and supervisory committee member, I am constantly monitoring and verifying whether business operations are being carried out in a way that protects the interest of all our many stakeholders, including shareholders, fans who enjoy the service we provide, and business partner, and that everyone benefits from them. I would like to continue doing so. So he basically just said what his job entailed. The general view is that the stock price soared after the earning announcement because it was a surprise, but what made you decide it wasn't a surprise? Looking at the chart since the start of the year, it's clear there's been a difference in performance. I don't think we're at the stage where we're willing to invest in any new business venture. Speaking of which, there's been graduation rush, but Nijisanji had 10 members terminate their contracts in the first half of the year. 76 as of today, and Hololive is even lower than them, even including Holostars. This is kind of bad Q&A. The investors are more confrontational this time and might be, if not already, thinking about pulling out. Dude, you're right to point that out. Maybe I just never noticed it before, but I don't think I've ever seen them be so confrontational. Like, they demanded twice to speak to somebody else than Tazumi. They were demanding a few things. They were pushing to know what kind of initiatives they had planned, even in sectors where Nijisanji seemingly was performing good. So I don't know if they're just trying to pick their brains and, you know, like, try to see what kind of like plans they have. I mean, I think they're curious about a lot of things because they've been making the news quite a lot. But when they go talk to them, it's just like, oh, well, everything's fine. Everything's fine. There is no problem. Okay, and this is the part about the salary. This time, there's a proposal to grant stock options worth up to 20 million yen annually to CEO Riko Tazumi and CFO Shinya Tsuri. Looking at the annual securities and report, the combined compensation for CEO Tazumi and CFO Tsuri is 57 million yen annually. This is for the 2024 fiscal year. In comparison to their competitor, Cover has CEO Motoaki Tanigo and CTO Hajime Fukuda with a combined compensation of 87 million yen annually for the 2025 fiscal year, so I thought it's quite low. So it's not the individual salary, it's like the combined salary of CEO and CFO, but it's a significant increase for Cover Corp. And they make less profit than Nijisanji. However, since Anycolor pays an annual dividend of 70 yen per share, CEO Riko Tazumi receives about 2 billion yen, and CFO Shinya Tsuri receives about 45 million yen in dividend income, which is larger than their compensation. Oh, so that's how they do it. We figured it out. That's how. Okay, so they have share. That makes sense. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. It's actually pretty pretty straightforward. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. I mean, we knew they had shares. Oh, wait, that's why they keep on paying dividends. That's why. Okay, that's why they're so focused on paying out dividends to their shareholders. Is because they're big shareholders themselves. Well, it must motivate them to some degree. Yes. So, but they're like, so in a sense, this feels more tied to performance. If the company is not doing well, then they're gonna get less money. But if the company does really well, then they're gonna make even more money. Meanwhile, Tanigo has more of a stable, like, salary. On the other hand, since Cover has 0 dividends, neither CEO Motoaki Tanigo nor CTO Hajime Fukuda have any dividend income. Yeah, these yachts don't pay themselves. I mean, he can buy a couple of yachts and a lot more of that money. Holy shit, that dude makes so much money. Damn, Vshoujo's business structure is the worst out of all of them, finally, like by so far. Vshoujo was bleeding money, and these guys are just racking it in. Vshoujo wish they had that now. My god, dude. This guy gets, just in stocks, he gets more than all the venture capital that Vshoujo needed to raise to run their company for like 3 years, but they didn't really run their company. They just buried all their problems like under the sand and try to look away from it. And they're like, it's probably gonna go away, right? The debts are gonna go away, right, guys? Hey, you, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.